What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We got some more Blood Red Skies for you today. In line with some of our recent pickups here, we decided to add a little bit more to our fledgling Red Army force here, and we decided to just go ahead and pick up the Red Army Air Force expansion pack just because these have been so much fun to look at and add to our existing forces. So might as well go with that and see what the Red Army one has for us. So we'll be right back here for you guys once we get this open and get everything sorted, and we'll take a look at what this expansion pack has to offer. Alrighty guys, we're back and we got everything open up for you. So here's kind of like a grand view of everything that we get in the expansion box. And so we'll kind of start off with the sort of more common cards. So we get plenty of the trait cards here, so mainly a lot of the heavy hitter and tight turn, since that's kind of common throughout most of the most of the planes that we do get. We get some robust, only one agile, some extra deep pockets, and great climb, of course. And then our negative traits here, so just for the planes that are vulnerable, sluggish, and poor quality. Unfortunately, we do have to deal with that a little bit. Sluggish is kind of interesting too, so basically you just don't get to outmaneuver there because it's not a great turning aircraft, which mainly we'll see that on like bombers and stuff. But vulnerable we've seen quite a bit with a lot of the Japanese planes, for example, and yeah, I think we've seen poor quality on a couple of those as well. But overall, pretty good stuff. So we get 6 planes. Again, we're going to come to those in just a bit. But one of the best things about picking up these expansion packs is just getting these extra doctrine equipment, and theater cards. The equipment ones are going to be more specific in general to the planes that we get here, but it's really like just nice to have the extra doctrines and theaters as well. So we'll kind of do the old reveal here on these and flip them over. So on the theater ones, we get restricted airfields, heavy flak presence, and overcast. And the reason I say it's nice to get these two is you'll see these in some of the other scenarios and things from the base game, but also the expansion. But also, just if you want to come up with your own custom scenarios and custom battles, it's just great to have access to all these extra things and throw something together, or for events and things like that. So overcast is pretty cool. In reaction to an enemy plane becoming advantaged, the enemy plane must pass a maneuver test or become neutral instead, which is certainly, when timed correctly, can be pretty wild, pretty like a big swing there potentially, if you can follow that up and parlay that into getting the plane disadvantaged and then shot down and stuff. So really good stuff there. We've seen heavy flak presence before. So in reaction to a disadvantaged plane activating, roll a deflection shooting attack against the aircraft using 3 dice. Just nice to be able to get a free attack out of that and potentially drop a plane. And then restricted airfields. So during deployment, if the enemy has equal or greater number of aircraft, one enemy plane of their choice does not appear in the scenario. So really good thing there, and kind of forces them into some other decisions as well. So really fun for the more casual scenarios there. On the equipment side, let's see what we get for the Soviets there. Maybe some vodka. No. Let's see here. Reduced armament. That's all right. And stripped down. So let's see. Both of these are free, 1939. So during deployment, reduced armament. A designated friendly aircraft gains more maneuverability, but at the cost of firepower. That's pretty rough. And then stripped down. A designated friendly squadron gains basically +1 speed, 50 miles an hour of real speed. The enemy attack does gain +1 against the stripped aircraft, which is cumulative with vulnerable. So if you want to strip down a vulnerable aircraft to gain some extra speed, could certainly be interesting. But on the other hand, you're basically just giving the enemy 2 extra free dice to roll against you. So you better be in your A game and not get shot at. So overall, pretty interesting there. And of course, if you do get shot down, it'll be straight off to the gulag for you. But hey, that's all right. You just gotta believe in the stellinium pieces that your plane is made of there, even if it is vulnerable and of poor quality. So we'll start with the bombers here. So we get the, and I'm going to probably butcher this, but the Patelyakov Pe2 4-engine bomber. So obviously no maneuverability, speed of 6, real speed 275, multi-engine 4, vulnerable and turret, 360, firepower 1, and rear of +2. So pretty neat there as well for some of those bombing scenarios of various kinds. And at some point, it'll be nice if we get some of these in actual models as well. And then also the Patelyakov Pe2, which we've seen that has a maneuverability of 1, real speed of 7, so actually 361, which is not bad at all for one of these twin engine aircraft here. Multi-engine 2, of course, and then turret, so 360 firepower of 1 and a rear of +1 as well. So if we just get these flipped over for you guys here, so no points, of course, on the bombers. But the big 4-engine one here is 1940s variant, or vintage, I should say, and 41 on the PE2. Then we get into basically the rest of the pack here, which are these single-engine fighters, and we get a lot of similar things, but there's also some clear differences between the two. So we'll kind of start off on the slower end here with the Lavochkin La G3, so single-engine fighter. Firepower of 1, maneuverability of 2, and speed of 7, so pretty average. But it does have 3 traits, so 2 good ones, 1 bad one. So we get robust, which is basically in reaction to a robust plane being attacked, you reduce the number of dice rolled for the attack by 1, but you still have to deal with poor quality, unfortunately, which is basically in scenarios where die is rolled for starting advantage, you deduct 1 from the roll, so it's just going to be harder, depending on what else is going on to start advantage. So, which again, not the biggest thing in the world in some cases, but kind of annoying at the same time. But it's also a heavy hitter, which is pretty cool. And we've seen heavy hitter plenty of times. So you always, you add, when you have that card, you add 1 firepower to the attack, and any success is counting as a crit. So to make up for some of the deficiencies of the plane itself. So real speed of 357. So pretty decent overall. It's not, not what I would say like strictly superior to anything comparable here. So we're going to flip over for a second. So it's an early war plane, 1941, 28 points a pop. So, like I said, it's not like your top of the line fighter, but it's still pretty decent. And if you can sort of master the traits of this, and depending on what else you're fielding, of course, for that early war time period, this can be fairly formidable too. So basically, maximizing your opportunities when you do get those shots, and hopefully having a heavy hitter card to play. But then just worrying about your actual just in-game awareness and maneuverability and stuff like that. So not putting yourself in bad situations. So you probably won't see too many things that are that much faster than you early war, but nonetheless, though they'll be out there. So, but heavy hitters are always nice. I'm a big fan of those personally. So plenty of vodka launchers on that one. Then we get the Yakovlev Yak 7B single engine fighter. So this one has great climb and heavy hitter, so no negative traits there. This one is basically the same stats, but the real speed is 373, so pretty cool overall there. So towards the faster end of the speed 7 planes. And then this guy, though, is also at 28 points, but 1942 for the actual year there. So interesting story on it, too. I guess it started as a trainer, but then basically got retrofitted into like an actual combat plane. So really good stuff there. So looking forward to trying those out and having basically like some combination of like a full sort of force of the 3s and the 7Bs here. Just having nothing but heavy hitters would be kind of cool. And then we move on to the speedier ones here. So we'll take a look at the Yak 3 version here. So again, another single engine fighter, firepower 1, but maneuverability of 3, which is fantastic. And it does have tight turn, which is always a welcome addition here, but no other traits or anything there. So if you're looking for just awesome maneuverability, this is going to be your buddy here, and also actual speed of 8 with a real speed topping out over 400 miles an hour, 407. So still going to be outclassed by some of the other later things, like some of your Mustangs and FW190s and all that, but pretty good overall. But so this is 1944, so getting obviously into late war period. Again, pretty decent. Just some things will be a little bit better there, but a welcome addition for late war Soviets here. But 35 points a pop there, so still overall decently priced. But you're going to have to make the most of that tight turn and everything, just because again, you don't have any other offensive advantage here. So like as far as like heavy hitter or something else is concerned, so using speed and maneuverability are going to be your kings there, keys to success. And then finally, the Yakovlev Yak 9D. So another single engine here. Firepower 1, only maneuverability of 2 here. Only, still pretty good. And also a speed of 8 here, although real speed is 377. I can't remember if there's a breakdown of like when the speeds change here, but this is 4 miles faster than the Yak 7B. But is actually speed 8. This one has great climb again and deep pockets, which is always a nice one too. So just being able to disregard boom chits potentially. Good stuff there. And then this guy though is also only 31 points. So again, and this is more towards the earlier part of the war. So really, if we break things down here, we have 1941-42 going on over here, and then late war here with this particular Yak 3. So that's the breakdown for you guys there. Oh, we forgot some cards. Just saw that. What else did we get on the doctrine side as I'm skipping along things here? So again, these just add wonderful flavor to the game. Just one of the great aspects of Blood Red Skies. So again, if you guys are sitting on the fence and haven't tried this game much or given it a serious consideration, it's a hell of a lot of fun, worth getting into. So we get Mobile Front, which is another just great Soviet thing here. But play during deployment. All friendly and enemy squadrons start the game with a boom chit. So again, just Eastern Front stuff going on there. That's pretty neat. Swarm flying, again, Soviets are overall going to be on the cheaper side. So you, depending on what skill level you go with, you're going to have a lot of planes. But again, during deployment, single engine aircraft deployed in elements of 4 or more automatically begin the game neutral instead of rolling for starting advantage. So pretty cool there, especially in situations where you, again, might have to deal with like poor quality or something like that. So just being able to just straight up start at neutral and not having to worry about it, it does take away the possibility of being advantaged at the start, but really you can spend your first turn climbing for advantage and going from there. So just something you gotta kind of factor in for your first turn and deployment purposes. And then finally, opening shot. So you get a bonus heavy hitter out of that, and you play it on a friendly plane when choosing a pilot action. So you shoot at up to 12-inch range. All other restrictions apply. Rolling on firepower dice. So pretty neat there as well. Let's see here. Aircraft could take shots at long range, but hitting was a matter of luck. Yeah. Pretty neat there. Not necessarily something to rely on all the time, but Swarm is pretty cool. I think overall, just being able to just have an actual swarm of planes or a bigger element there, and then just all right, we're just starting neutral, not having to worry about anything, and that should also, I think, get around scenario restrictions in a lot of cases, unless it says otherwise. So then coming back one more time again, just to take a quick peek at the negative traits here. So again, vulnerable is just going to be a little bit rough to deal with. The enemy is increasing firepower against you. On sluggish, apparently, the do thing is just sluggish plane may not use outmaneuver action, comrade. So, just the things that are sluggish. So if we come back real quick, there and there. So, which is interesting. I thought I saw it, and then apparently I don't think we actually have it. So, didn't see any sluggish trait on here, but I guess maybe some of the other things in the Soviet force. So, it could be maybe one of the other planes. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think there's like a biplane in the Soviet forces as well. So I'm not sure if it's going to apply to that or not. And then finally, again, poor quality. So just more scenario specific, but again, nice way around poor quality is going with the swarm flying and just starting off neutral. So the big thing again, I think overall is just mitigating the planes that are vulnerable, um, and kind of going from there with the quantity again that the Soviets are going to bring here. So you're not necessarily going to outstat anybody, although I would say just the Yak 3 and Yak 9 are certainly pretty damn good. But especially this early war period, though, these things are gonna in the hands of a capable pilot, you're gonna be able to deal with the 109s pretty decently. You're gonna have a fair few planes and plenty of heavy hitter cards and all that, and hopefully, just flying smart, you'll be able to drop opponents regardless. I was just using Germans as an example there just to keep it historical, but overall, yeah, that much firepower is pretty great. So anyway, we're running a little bit long on the video here, but nonetheless, guys, it's just great to pick up these expansion packs. So certainly for the faction you're playing, but even worth considering for some of the other factions just to get some of the extra cards and things like that, and also to see what the enemy might be throwing at you outside of the regular releases and stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed. Leave us some comments. Again, Soviets are sort of our like fourth Air Force that we're playing for the game. So we really just have some Yak threes, I think, right now. So let us know in the comments, guys, what your thoughts overall are on the Soviet Air Force here, the Russian Air Force for Blood Red Skies. I'd be curious to see what planes you guys prefer, anything out of this pack. Let us know what you think. What else do the Soviets really need in game? What are you looking forward to? Last time I checked, I don't think there's an IL-2 yet. That's definitely something that needs to come out for these guys. I know that. If it's not out already, but I don't think it is. But anyway, hit us up in the comments, guys. Smash that like and subscribe button. And if you do want to support the channel, check that description in the video. There is a link there to Warlord. If you guys head over there and pick up anything from that link, then that also will help support us a little bit. So we appreciate everybody that does that. In the meantime, hope everybody has a good one. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll have more Blood Red Skies coming for you soon.